I started cruise ships a number of years ago, and I was working on a company called Royal Viking Line. And one of the people in charge of the production shows moved to the entertainment department of Royal Caribbean, and she took my packet with her and put it on the desk of the entertainment director for Royal Caribbean, which had sat there for several weeks. Finally, the entertainment director looked at it, and she looked at the packet and saw my music, and she hired me to do my first ship. And my first ship for Royal Caribbean was the Sun Viking, a wonderful little tiny ship, and it was going to Asia for the first time. Now back then, Asia was very unexplored with cruise lines. Not many ships went there. So I had to sign on the ship for 4 months, and we went to Asia and all the Singapore and Kuala Lumpur, which was wonderful back then. It wasn't a popular destination. And that's what was so exciting, because we'd go to Hong Kong and all these people would show up and we'd be the only ship in port, this little tiny wonderful Sun Viking ship for Royal Caribbean. That in itself was an exciting, exciting time to be in. Life aboard Royal Caribbean, it's very different than life on land. On land, you get to go home every night, you get to sleep in the same bed, you get to see the same people. That could be good or bad, but whatever. Life on ships is very different for entertainers like myself, because we bounce from ship to ship to ship. We keep moving, we do our show, and then we'll often move to the next ship. Fly, stay at hotels, so you're basically staying in hotels, flying from ship to ship. And it can be wearing and difficult at times. And Royal Caribbean is one of the nicest companies because they treat their entertainers very, very well. They give us wonderful rooms. Transportation is all very easily done, seamlessly organized for us. And so it makes it like a family, and the whole idea for Royal Caribbean is you're part of a family, and that's how you treat your family. When you start working cruise ships, I was young, and a lot of us are very young, and we're single, and we want to see the world. But it's tough to have a relationship, whether it's a family, start a family. And so a lot of us are single, and that's how we meet our prospective partners, is meeting them working the ships. When I started ships, I would bounce from ship to ship, so I'd see somebody, but then I'd never see that person again. For me, the special thing was, over 9.5 years ago, I was on the Jewel of the Seas, and I went to see the production show, and I saw the production show, and I knew one of the singers in the show, so I went backstage to say hi to him, and we talked, and it was there I also met one of the cast members. And that cast member, we became friends, and I started coming back to the Jewel of the Seas several times, and we not only became friends, but this person ended up being my partner, and it's now been over 9 years that he and I have been together. And I always look back and think that if it wouldn't have been for that first Jewel of the Seas contract on Royal Caribbean, I may not have ever met the person that I now end up spending the rest of my life with. So for me, that is a very touching and very special moment for Royal Caribbean. My favorite memory with Royal Caribbean, I have several. They're all the different destinations that I've done. It's exciting when you come to a port for the very first time, and like I talked to before about the Sun Viking, going to the ships for the first time, or going to the ports rather for the first time, and everybody turns out and you see these massive crowds there to see the ship. But there's nothing more beautiful than being on a Royal Caribbean ship sailing out of the Sydney Opera House, the port of Sydney, which is magnificent, and Royal Caribbean turns, goes around the port, and it's absolutely beautiful to see that at night. So that's one of my wonderful memories I have. My parents have been a big part of my whole entertainment life, especially my mother. And my parents have been married. They're going to celebrate their 65th, 66th wedding anniversary. I guess I should look to see which one it is. They're 83 years old. They've always been part of my entertainment background. Way back when I started performing with Liberace, my mother was always around. So my mother was part of the entertainment process when I was young on ships, getting involved with ships. And she often would join me on the ships, and that's exciting for me because I get to have a family member, and Royal Caribbean allows me to bring family members on. So I get to bring my mom, and then I get to bring my dad, with me, and then they fight for who's going to come on the ship first. They still get excited when they come up the gangway of a Royal Caribbean ship and going to discover where they're going to sail. Sometimes my mother has no idea where the ship's going to go, and she doesn't care because she said it's always going to be fun no matter where we go. Royal Caribbean's affected my show in a very positive way because they've allowed me to experiment and try different things without the fear of if I make a mistake, it'll be used against me. They want entertainers, and they encourage us to expand our show, try new things. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Drapes don't open, music doesn't play, sound doesn't go on, lights don't turn on when they should have. But that's the exciting thing about working on ships and live theater. You never know what you're going to get. I love the way Royal Caribbean uses live musicians. Most of the cruise lines have given up using live musicians, but when you go to a Royal Caribbean ship, you're going to see live musicians, some of the best that are out there. And also, of course, the facilities are beautiful, but the pianos they use are magnificent. They're always new and they're always shiny and polished, and that makes it so much fun to work with them. And when you see my show, you see how much fun I have, and I'm always smiling, and that's what I love about working Royal Caribbean, and I love the piano. Forgot the name of the ship, sorry. What ship did we meet?
Jewel.
Jewel. You're gonna cut this out, aren't you?
Sure.
Okay.
No, you were looking here.
Oh, looking there.
Yeah.
Oh. How was that? That's probably what they're gonna use.
Yeah, that's
That was
good.
it. I think that's enough.
Same.
Right, I'm trying, but...
No, I know. Because didn't you say something...
That's close enough. I can't remember at this point. It's too long. Maybe that's a good little tag. So let's see. Oh, that's awfully... I was working for Royal Viking Line, a wonderful company back then, and the entertainment director happened... Okay, let's start again.
Okay.
That was...
Wait, stay there. You said moving.